勝負は波じゃないぜ悪のパワーに負けたら最後未来が闇に閉ざされる愛する友の眼差しが倒れるたび傷つくたび俺を強くするルール破りの邪悪の超人さあお遊びはここまでだラスト5秒のファイヤーキャプテンファイター俺は炎の筋肉マン M-U-S-E-L-E マッスル M-U-S-E-L-E マッスル 3, 2, 1ファイヤー
Alright, folks, good morning. How to get my sleeve wet? Don't tell me I spilled some hot cocoa on it. Opting for some Swiss Miss today, in contrast to yesterday's sea of miso soup. Much like Alexander, at the tail end of his campaign into India, Guinea being struck low by an illness, when there's something like 49 years left in the game? That feels sticky, not just wet, so maybe it was hot cocoa I somehow got on my sleeve. But that's okay, because now that we're the hedonistic empire, we've gone from shades of orange and purples to a blue empire now. So maybe it's an appropriate time to ditch the sticky wet sleeve of the red robe. And swap out one more fitting of the new color, and that doesn't have a wet sticky sleeve. Getting a little bit better from yesterday. I was getting pretty debilitated as the night went on after stream. Got myself a long sleep, which isn't easy when there's a loud and needy cat at 6 a.m. But look at us now. Started off in little tiny Syracusae, and now, having kicked Carthage out the island, challenged Rome, united the Greeks, and kicked Rome out of civilized Europe, we now have an empire that spreads from the Atlantic all the way down the Indus River to Gandhara. Maurya is split in twain. They're not liking that all too much. Persian Empire is split in twain. We're leaving broken hearts along the way. We still have some guys back here. The year is 680. It's 680, and I can't raise my armies again until June 5th. For the most part. I think that the next order of business for our conquests is going to be the eradication of Egypt. We have a claim on the last few things Egypt holds here. And so what we're going to do is we're going to do a claim to take Caria Inferioris. And while we do it, we also take Sinai away from Egypt. And... actually, no. Look at that. There's the Egyptian revolt. Oh, there's no dotted line. They can't go back and forth, can they? They gotta go up here, down, there's a dotted line, and then down. So, Egyptian revolt can't actually attack here. And we're not given them military access. Egypt's armies and mercenary armies. But there's no one actually, there's no opposition there. So yeah, that's what we'll do then. We'll wipe out Egypt for good, 1 and 2. And 3. Because would you look at that? Egypt no longer exists, practically. Everything here is Egyptian revolt. There's more Egyptian revolt than Egypt. So, I'm gonna see what happens when the parent country gets eliminated. Agathocles. Do we have any characters who aren't in great families who have like 10 zeal? 9 is the most. Because I was thinking maybe we could adopt somebody with 10 zeal, make them our primary heir. But 9's the best we got. When our 69-year-old guy dies, it's gonna pass on down to Bald Antenor and his 2 daughters. Near death with dysentery. I could change my laws to allow agnatic cognatic. Female children of a monarch to succeed the throne if no valid male heirs. We could do King of Kings, but there's no real point. We don't have integrations, diplomatic, whatever. I want to get Divinity Statute, but that requires having Zeal 10 or higher. One, 1, 1, 2. 5, 4, 4, 3. So, Kilistion is better than Olympia. So let's start off. Letting time pass for a bit. So that these levies could return. What's he doing? He's got 42 loyalty. So why is this Theocratide guy just cruising around the planet? He probably got momentarily disloyal, and then took his party boat on his own cruise. $123 political influence. Disloyal provinces mostly have lots of greens or increasing. Valeria and Corduene are too low to add buildings. Disloyal. Certain actions like recruiting, building, or pop interactions can no longer occur. cancer on his 69th year. That is not very nice. Okay. They got 2,000 guys here. Won't take us too long to get rid of them. 2,500. Or 25,000. And 35,000. These guys are all just sailing to their own drum. This guy's too deceitful to persuade. He is Zenid? Let's swap him out for somebody more loyal. He's just operating the boats. It doesn't matter how corrupt he is. Zenids can now use another position. Zenid. There. Alright. Let's eliminate Egypt then. Declare war. He's got no allies, no defensive league. Poor Egypt has gone from a major power to not even regional, just a local power, because he's only got 3 lands. Let's do it. Caria Inferioris. But we'll still take everything. $2,000 of 2,000 killed already. These poor guys stand no chance at all. 1,000 of 1,000, level 1 forts. Level 1 forts. Invited our Megas Basilius to a banquet of great significance. Iberic? Beatica Hispanensis. Nah. We don't need them to be friends, we need to take him over. At some point. Let's start making some extra fabricated casus bellis. I'm so paused. I was like, wow, these sieges are taking forever. Of course they would, if I don't unpause. Magadhi Hindu arrived in country. Member of Balaki. Balika. I could also take these guys out too, yeah? Coeli Syria. We have claim. Let's do it. Let's start wiping out these little tiny bits. With their 2 forts. Obnoxious 2 forts. Oops. See, that is good. What you should have a menu do in a game or something like this is that if it pops up at the exact same time you click, you don't want it to just click whatever. You want there to be a buffer time. struggle with the religious echelons of our society, the peasants coming to light. I like taking the 3 stability, gain loyalty option. Appease both sides. The few times that appeasing both sides is objectively the best option. Lose stability to make the religious happier. Gain 6 stability. Then again, ever since we took militant Epicureanism, Omen power has been gutted anyway. 6 stability as opposed to 3 stability. Open up the gates of the temple. The game was actually trying to do me a solid. Incense for same religion happiness. Dyes, national noble happiness. We got internal sources of dyes. We own so much of the world. How could we not have internal sources of dyes? Carthago. Dodecapolis. Let's see. We got more space for more stuff. Pop promotion speed. Instance we got. Oratory tech investment. We still can't do Amber. We'll lose capital bonus, we'll lose capital bonus. The losers. Let's get that national citizen output. Happiness. Barbarians hiding out over there. What do you say, barbarians? Want to join us? 15 to 20. If we get them to join us, that'll put a population next door to here. So I would rather like if they did join us. $11 and 9. Governor of Lower Egypt. Leostratos. Governor Palestine, 9774. $977 is better than 1135. Confident, miserly, and honest. Uncaring, silver-tongued, and merciful. Okay. Poseidonios, Gorgid. Let's invite you. And then we'll arrange your marriage. Poseidonios. To our older child. Poseidonios, you're over here, right? Now that you're family. I gotta pay him money to marry my granddaughter. Forget it. I was trying to help the guy out. If that's how he wants to be. If I do it the other way around, we get to do it for free. What the heck? When having military access. Okay. Cancel military access. And then we gotta wait to remove their military access. January 13th, revoke military access. Actually, no. We just can't have military access on them. So that bit we got. Just need this to finish up. And it did. Easy. So, why is it only 18, 19? Egypt doesn't have any place left. Egypt. They got that bit that's glowing. Oh. They unified. Their civil war ended. That's unexpected. Maybe because we killed their last army there and took over their last stuff, there was nothing else. And so they capitulated to back over? I don't know. I guess there goes... There goes attacking Egyptian revolt next, after wiping out Egypt. $3,000 to $2,000. Governor of Italia, we're out one. Sort by the least corrupt. Deeded is short one job. No corruption. 7 and 7 is pretty good for Italia. And the Agathocles are still missing space. Any more Agathocles I could put in? There are not. Oh well, sucks to be the ruling family. Battle... Succeeded. How about now, barbarians? Still don't want to settle? We could have happily welcomed them in, and they chose not to. Keep the food coming. Because who's starving now? Levy of Asia. Alright, go someplace with better food. Egypt, I mostly wanted just these bits and that bits. Let's see if I can't take them. Take this as my own. 3 war score. Take this in my own, 6 war score. Okay. That's all I want for now, the rest will just be bonus. Wait. Hold on. Did I not click those? I clicked those. I know I'm sick, but I specifically clicked that, and I clicked that. So why do I not own those? Man, I gotta repeat doing this again. 13 January, declare war, Holy Syria. At least it's only till April. Minus 35 still. Barbarians fully wiped out. Level 1, so quit taking so long. Governor of Italia. Deeded. At least we're doing the exact same stuff we were. Itchy elbow. So that is held. Chase after these guys. Then around April time, this is gonna pop up. Colonizable territory, complete. And attrition is bad everywhere. Let's pop them over to Amastor. Keep the food up for everybody. So, 18 war score. We occupy this. We occupy that. Literally clicked it. It's blue. Egyptian Caria Inferioris to Hellenistic Empire. Clicked it. Egyptian Sinai to Hellenistic Empire. Is it because I clicked there and that reset it? Because it still says Sinai to us. Caria Inferioris to us. So why did it give me nothing at the end of the war the last time? Terms to us, to us. Okay. I am so confused. Because I know I clicked. I deliberately clicked. I know my brain's mush, but still, it's not that mush. Do we still have our Casus Bellis being formulated here? We do. So who's going to be next on the agenda? Should we try to do Thracian? We got like 4 years waiting for Maka because Maria is our guardian. And it'd be breaking the truth with Maria to go for Maka right now. We could go against the Roman revolt. They have little bits of land there. All we would need to do is to occupy here. Transalpine Gaul. How's our pops looking? At Hellenic folk? Of Siceliote ways? There's only 2,000 Romans there. Versus 2,000? Let's bump the number up a little. There's a couple more pieces of land. Kizikos has a revolt going on there. Have they got forts? 1 fort on both. I feel I could take them. But I'll wait. That's just a tiny thing anyway. Don't gotta go for it right now. Defensive league. With them, and them, and them. So, all this comes as a set. They come as a set. Isn't that nice? It'd be to my benefit to attack them all at once. Level 1 fort, level 1 fort, level 3. Level 4 in Thrace. Obscene. If I didn't have such a land border with Thrace, I'd consider doing the Imperial Challenge on him. I could put more forts of my own, and that'll keep him at bay. Especially here in the mountains. Imports. Got incense, got our dye. Let's get more spices. National citizen output up. That includes research. Impatience is a virtue. Agenor, the Egyptian Neocortid, have been becoming increasingly restless of late. Believes the statue is deserving of the key role in our government. Just wait a bit longer, all I can do. Hierophant for Omen power. We could give it to one of the other great families since we don't really care about Omen power anymore. Euthocrates deeded. No risk of civil war, war exhaustion. Once these guys get over. There's not much Roman revolt left. And they didn't even give themselves a fort out here. They're not even trying to run. They're offering a peace already. Roman Narbonensis, the Hellenistic Empire, and the Roman Revolt becomes a client state of the Hellenistic Empire. They want to become my client state. Hey, Wither! So tired. How's my brouhaha going? The brouhaha is ha-haing brutally. Most of the known world, or at least the important parts, have fallen to my domain, so I'm quite happy with that. Unfortunately, every time that some Greek guy decides they're going to take over the world, they end up being struck down at the tail end of their conquests. And that's exactly what's happened here as our fallen ill, the poor Guinea. Speaking of which, actually got some medicine today though. Some off-brand Sudafed for the G-congesting. Some NyQuil Dayquil for the placebo. And some Swiss Miss for the real medicinal comforts. Roman Narbonensis to Hellenistic Empire. These guys are scattered all the way out here. I don't need them as a client state. I don't want them as a client state. They want me to accept them as a client state, so Rome's war against them becomes Rome's war against me. I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna take what I want and leave it at that. And now that is the last of the Roman Empire below the Alps. Now they really do only exist up there. You hear one of the most convenient and easiest ways to get Sudafed in the States is to extract it from the readily available everywhere meth. You joke, but it's an over-the-counter substance now. If you want the good, real medicine, you gotta go up to the guy, show them your ID, have them scan your ID as like evidence is the wrong word, but they want to make sure you're not buying mass drug production amounts of Sudafed. It's kind of funny in its own sad way. Unfulfilled promises. Official displeasure and our continuing refusal to grant him a position befitting his nature. He has the support of a number of prominent members of our court. Smoothly talk him out of these fleeting ambitions. We got Silver Tongue to lose 10 prominence. He's only got 4 martial, 6 finesse. There's not much I could put him in. Silver Tongue seems to be an excellent quality to have. Finesse? 6 finesse? Aganor Dinocratide? But he's only got 46 statesmanship at 41 years of age. 8 finesse, 35 statesmanship. 8 finesse, 25 statesmanship. But at 19 years old, he's gonna get better at it. They get more statesmanship by being in a job long enough to build experience and be better at their job. Okay, 100% there. Clear it up. Mine. It's making me extra paranoid now. Having finished the war with Egypt, but I didn't get the land after I clicked on them. Now I'm triple checking every single time. Just gotta occupy this, and it's gotta be finished. Martial advances. What text do I want now? I think I have all that I want for religious. You're visiting your progenitors still? That's always excellent weather. Replacing some old, super shitty, drafty windows in the basement lower floor rooms. Insulation layers and stuff. I'm glad you guys took out your positive relationships, helping them out. Results good but pretty solidly spent. That, it sounds like, is a tiredness that comes from a good day's work. Omen power. Woo general. National global food modifier might be good. Food is generally alright, but people tend to get a bit hungry when they're recently conquered. Country, same religion, happiness, population growth. Monthly corruption down, I'm hoping, is a universal global corruption down, like all of my governors, commanders, and so on, and not just my own. National slave happiness? We have loads of slaves. That'll bring... Slaves is like 1/3 or 1/4 of the entire population. So that'd be good, actually. Alright, get it. National slave happiness plus 4%. They pay you a nice bit of extra for the effort. That's always good. Not a great hourly, but helping. Yeah, exactly. You're helping family out. Getting a nice something as bonus. That's a good deal. Anybody here that I want to adopt? I could adopt a 70-year-old man as a 71-year-old man. With no family. Leostratos, alright. One family of one name. Let's get you married to my younger granddaughter. Where's my younger granddaughter? It's not Seema. Marry the Admiral of the First Nauticon. I didn't authorize that. Damn! I marry Olympia to Poseidoneos, and she dies shortly thereafter. Your spouse is in heaven now. You're getting close to finishing this chunk of a project. Very good. And you're impressed with what you've achieved? House from the 70s and built by amateurs. Sounds like when I visit home. And I mean, even 30 years later, a house built in the early 2000s. Absolutely built by amateurs. Every time I visit home, something is breaking even more. Like the way the wood is rotting on their balcony, I'm pretty sure that half the house is gonna fall down eventually. Went over for dinner last weekend, and they had to move their fridge to like the middle of the hallway because there was so much water damage over the decades that they straight up had 2 deformed indentations in the wooden floor for where the legs, little tiny feet of the fridge were putting weight down over the years. Beginners. I guess it's a nicer way of putting it. Hedonistic local power of Carmania folded to a threat of war from Makkah. I gave them territory of Sabzavaran. Oh, these guys. I could also attack these guys. Because we got Casus Belli on them too. But I do want to go for Makkah. I do have guys right here. Mercs I haven't dropped yet. Might as well increase this corridor. We have boat access, but securing land access is also good. While we're here though, Makkah, do you want to give land to us? We have claims on West Omana, East Omana, Gera, Rudiana, and Carmina. Threaten war. They're not gonna say yes yet, unless I raise everything I got. They feel emboldened, because they're being guaranteed by Maria. They chose a poor guarantor, since we've gutted Maria. They've only got 1 boat even. Wall leading outwards 3 centimeters over 2 meters. Not a problem, makes insulation thickness challenging. None of the walls properly braced. Definitely reminds me of Dad. Dad got lucky with stocks once in his 30s and decided that with that luck and an early 90s architecture program for planning floors, that he was going to do everything himself. He might have been an alright accountant, but he was definitely no architect. We got truce with Egypt. Working on this war now. Who to go for next? Sieges being worked on. Hostile sieges. 73% on both of these. How are their fort situations? 2 forts, 1 fort, the jerks. Armenia is pretty big. There's not too much I want from them. Your dad, Forge, is literally an architect. Well, that is at least good then. He's got some actual foundation to build off of them. And his dad an actual carpenter. Dang. So there's pedigree in that then. Truces, we got so many truces now. Roman Revolt. There, Maria. 685, so 3 more years. 3 more years, Maka, than your hours. Battle complete. And then all they gotta do after this is sit on the siege and wait. It's blue, it's lit up, enlisted demands, Coeli Syria, to us. Triple, quadruple checking, just to make sure it's all actually going to me. You do, however, waste some time doing things more thoroughly than necessary sometimes. I guess the satisfaction is something, plus, if you got the time, then why not try to make it extra good, right? Anthologia Philosophicae appears in Hellenistic Empire's treasury. Provincial effects if in holy site, yada 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 yada. Collect the greatest written words over the era and preserve them for prosperity. I already mumbled enough, but adding the sickness to the mix makes my stumbly sinuses stumble even further today. Destroy all those to make one Anthologia Philosophicae. Okay. We got a book. One more deified ruler, and divinity statute law. And we can get the imperial cult government form. We cannot get the imperial cult government form because divinity statute requires a ruler with 10 zeal. I have never had a ruler with 10 zeal. If we include a Buddhist deity in our pantheon, we could embrace Buddhism. At the cost of 30 stability. Mediterranean Syracusean dominance, while bringing Buddhism to Europe. Your time here is coming to an end, though. Bunch of stuff you must go home, take care of, leaving in a good state that your folks can continue to work on. That is also very excellent, though, Wither. Even if you can't finish it all right now for them, giving them plenty to work with, or setting things up, because they don't have too much to work with, I mean. That is some good sun stuff. Kind of envious. Never had that good of a relationship with my dad, which is frustrating when his time came, since, you know, at the end of the day, he wasn't so much a monster than just some old guy in need of help. And yet he chose to make himself one. We could have had that kind of good familial relationship. Sucks. Who else got Casus on? There's gotta be an easier way to list these. Maybe if I could push the icon, it could open up a vertical list to scroll through. Because these guys like to hide their flags behind each other. Did I not see? Zadrakarta. Do we have a Casus Belli on you? We do have a Casus Belli on Zadrakarta. We can get our revenge on them. We could actually get our revenge. And get some Caspian Sea coast. Worst you could say is your folks are great, sometimes annoy a little. I feel like annoying a little has got to be a requirement for families. If you're not annoying each other at least a little bit, then is it really a familial relationship? We do still have our Casus Belli on for Santonia, on Pictonia, Redonia. Let's get one on you too. Fabricate claim. Although, you guys are in a defensive lead together. Pictonia, Allurica, Vanilia, and Redonia. So I could potentially grab these guys all at once. Which is also pretty exciting. According to Powerwolf, Armenia is a place where werewolves come from. Be careful. Luckily, I don't have too much beef with Armenia. They do hold pieces of Anatolia and Babylonia that, if I cared to reconquer all of Alexander's empire, I would have to take from them. But I don't really care to. Armenia, as far as I'm concerned, can just sit there and be happy neighbors with us. Except they're not happy neighbors with us because my aggressive expansion is way too big for anyone to have a positive relationship with me. Whoops. Another settlement opportunity. Disopon. Slowly gonna colonize the entire Mediterranean coast of Africa. Now how should we do this? They do have an annoying number of forts around here. So, it's mostly inland, along the river that it's clustered along, so they have 2, these guys have 3, then 1 and 2. March up. They'll take this, then they'll focus on these 2 forts, while this stack goes in from the western ones. Good plan. Silver in any campaign. The funny thing is, I'm not quite familiar with what the currency would be for this era. It's an icon of what I assume are gold coins in a money bag. But it could just be shiny yellow silver for all I know. Yeah, of course. Why would the song Werewolves of Armenia not be historically accurate? That would open them up to litigation if there were any untruths in there. Nervous civil war still. The provinces in red. minus 0.00, minus 0.02, minus 0.01. The policies are working. Most people in general are getting better with their opinion of me. Two more claims gotten. And let's clear out this. Another secure land route between our western and eastern world. Technically, don't we have claim on Pataline? We do. We also sell a military access. But we could fill them in also. They've only got the one fort. They've only got the one fort. We send our mercenaries down. Cancel military access for now. And by the time September 5th comes around, our mercs will be 1/4 of the way there. Silver Sestertes, Rome used Sestertes for a long time. In this world, that is going to be massively historically inaccurate then, because Rome lost prominence so long ago and got pushed over the Alps. Rome is a mere rump state now. They still somehow qualify as a major power by sheer virtue of having over 100 territories, but they're a major power lording over barely anybody. They're having to rebuild their glory out in the wilderness. A lot of work to prepare city games in our capital, Syracusae. With only a few days left before it starts, they have started looking to us for some aid in financially supporting them. So it could be an even grander than originally planned. If we assist them, sure to gain some fame along the general populace. 100 money for popularity, legitimacy. Syracuse gaining local population happiness doesn't matter because they love me at home, apparently. Lose stability if the winner of the game joins the court. Sure, 100 gold is nothing right now. Could maybe rely on my Spanish guys to take over that and that for me. They've been mostly Hellenized, and there's plenty of Siceliot folk there now. How are they looking military-wise? Sorted by strength. Magna Greca, Greece, Italia are still the hardest hitters. Lower Egypt. 16 pops from Contestania. Baetica, scrolling. Did I miss them? Asia, Macedonia, Syria. Baetica, 28 pops. 28 pops isn't too bad, so they could potentially handle this themselves. 15k? It's not an amazing invasion force, but if all they have is a 1 fort, 2 fort, could be good enough. Get a mercenary to pitch in if they have to. Delegate army stands down. They're not even supposed to be a player in this country. The silver sesterces were from the Republic. In Empire time, they made them larger and cast in brass. So, it would be fitting then, if Rome wasn't kicked over the Alps, since this game covers a time period of the Republic era. My understanding is that the end date of the game, that most people find weird and arbitrary, is the year where Rome transitioned officially from Republic to Empire, since it's supposed to cover more the rise of Rome than just the glory of the Empire in general. Read about Norwegianized history books and translated asterisk comics. Part of the reason I want to take Redonia, my understanding is that there's a village out there in Brittany that has some mighty warriors. Who else could possibly challenge us? For real, who else? Thrace? Their only real concern is they have a large land border with us. Armenia, I have no beef. Moria, we kicked their ass. Persian Empire, they're falling apart. They're getting gobbled up by Dragnania there. There is no one else who could possibly face the Syracusians and win. But their reputation here. Consort. Oh, I lost my wife. I'd rather for some people the game takes a while to load in the later game. For me, it's more so that it's starting to take longer and longer for it to autosave. Asterisk, Obelix, untranslated, but all the other villagers have pun names. I haven't gotten around to the comic, so I can't say what they are in English. The only real knowledge I have for the translation of Asterisk is that there was a video game put out ages ago where in the English release they just made him some generic barbarian, and it was so bad. Ardok the Barbarian instead of Asterisk, since surely the Americans don't know Asterisk. Just make him Ardok. Who doesn't like barbarians? Get a fix. The druid who brews a potion. Take Santonia, and because they're in a defensive league, all their little friends are going to get gobbled up too. Governor Lusitania. Who wants to be Governor Lusitania? Marhaba Basatra, a Punic druidic type. Excuse me. Agenor Dinocratine was whining for the longest time that he didn't have a job available for his stature and skills. Which is a lot of complaining for a submissive guy. We'll make him Governor Lusitania. Lusitania losing 0.08 loyalty each month. They got no cities here for me to give grand temples and theaters to. So what am I supposed to do? Build cities myself? That's expensive. Could build provincial legation places that'll increase pop assimilation speed. Won't help their food situation though. But if there are more people like me, then they'll like me more often because they'll worship the way we do and practice the way we do. Local tribesmen happiness. Population-wise, there's slaves, freemen, and citizens. Not much in the way of tribesmen. Some places it's all slaves. So maybe putting more provincial legations then. Make them convert to us faster. Manpower, civilization level, local freeman happiness and desired ratio. The freemen are happy. Local tribesmen happiness, but they have no tribesmen here. So that's pointless. There. Maybe that will make them a little bit happier. No cities at all, apart from the coast here. Absolute barbarians. Still moving. Bit concerned with all that movement going out. Oh, haven't moved these guys through yet. Let's do Levi Magna Greco go forward. And Levi Italia will hunt down the opposition. One siege done. Now I'm going to need to take that one and the war would automatically finish. They're popping fast along here. It took us ages to get Corsica fully colonized. But it's like every other year or so they have enough population to spread further down the coast. Split these guys in two, one to undo the other. Hunt them down, chase after them. Manpower, practically at max. It's tempting, I could just use the assault fort option. It'll kill off most of these guys, but it will win the war. Troubadour everyone hates in Norwegian is called Troubadourix. A shit name. In French, Assuranceturix, which is funny. I might have to have that pun explained to me. My French isn't very good. And that's without my brain being mushed right now. Let's put these guys up also. So we could have both forts take it at the same time. Excuse me. I like how they mostly have 2,000 guys just running around our undefended, fortless domains. But all we really have to do is take their 2 forts. It's an automatic win. So they're free to run all they want. It means or imitates assurance tous risks. Insurance from all risks. Ah. Now I get it. Assurance to risks. I get it now. I get it now. Governor Mauritania, 3754. Garbage. Kemetic Thiumic. That's a bit more local. I'm sure the people there would appreciate having one of their own rule over him. Just have to do something about that faith of his. Because we want to Hedonize those folk. And they're already mostly Hedonized. Up and down the Nile. That'll automatically complete. Rome is prospering. My Rome or their Rome? Colossal construct out of unexpected benefits in Rome. Puriforia to traverse the market districts, United citizens prosper. More taxes, more popularity, more stability. The scarcest and most important resource. You gotta go to sleep or something with her? You have a good sleep. Fixing the second window tomorrow morning, hopefully. Or tomorrow, hopefully. Enjoy it. Thank you for dropping in. You have yourself a good rest with her. A beacon for our nation who will look here for guidance. Where do they find 19,000 troops? That's gotta be mercenaries, yeah? Levy. All just levies? What did I say? Rome has been defeated, Carthage defeated, Egypt, Persia, Maurya defeated. The only real fight I was going to find would be taking on a quaint little village in Brittany. Chubby, for one more favor, depopulate Judea completely, put everyone to the sword. Oh, but Wither, they've been Hellenized there too. They're proper Hellenic folk now. Be they Hellenized Hebrews or Sikeliotes, taking over from the regular Levantine population. We brought civilization to the shores to prevent future bloodshed, huh? Funny enough, that's basically the one reason why there's a huge gap in the coverage of Paradox games. Why Crusader Kings 2 only goes as far back as 769. And why Imperator Rome ends at the moment when Rome goes from republic to empire. Pretty much 80% of the reason is that Paradox doesn't want to touch having like Jesus or Muhammad as historical figures. So they'll happily make games where the history takes place before it happens or a century or two after. But as far as like engaging in whatever happens historically with the rise of major religions, they're like, no, 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 we're gonna wash our hands of this. We're just gonna say that at some point it happens. I'm sure there are tasteful ways you can do it. Though one of the conceits of these grand strategy games is that you're pretty much making a plaything of history. So even though, like in Crusader Kings, you have scripted events of the Mongol invasion or the Ghaznavids, you could also upend those historic efforts. And you know how strategy gamers get, right? Strategy gamers, for the most part, are like any other gamer. But the genre tends to attract a lot of like, you know, the Deus Volti types, the return to the glorious days of the European past, away from this degeneracy of the modern era kind of folk sort of thing. And so you give them an opportunity to, say, imprison and castrate various culturally, religiously important figures for like millions around the globe, and suddenly you have potential controversy. I can understand why they wouldn't want to touch on that, but it does mean that for this last little favor to make history a little less bloody, it's out of my hands. We've brought Sicilian ways to the world. Hopefully some good calamari can make the world a lot more chill. Beyond that, it's out of my hands. Which fit is send them? They're coming this way now. They got another sack of 12, too. Hunt them down. Kayinda didn't even realize it wasn't populated. A few of these start off depopulated, and you gotta colonize them with excess populations. But there's a few spots here or there that I feel like did have populations, but warfare throughout the years drove people out until they became depopulated over the course of the game. Which is actually pretty cool that you could do that. Not just colonize the world, but uncolonize it too. All this occupied territory around us. They really have us beat, except nope. Sue for peace, mine now. Change history, what's his face, Temujin. That they do allow you to do. Paradox has no problem with you doing whatever you want with the Mongol hordes and their descendants. These games already tend to play fairly fast and loose with the histories. Which I think is funny, because back in like the Crusader Kings 2 days, they used to at least pretend that historical accuracy was one thing that they were striving for. And nowadays, with like Crusader Kings 3, the excuse more often is we can't make it too historical, we gotta make the game fun first and foremost. Which is a pretty funny excuse to make when they kinda have to work on making Crusader Kings 3 fun in the first place. Maybe I'm just old-fashioned. 7 Marshal to 13. Who's this? Levy of Italia. Who's at Italia right now? Deeded with his 7 Marshal. Who do we have with good Marshal and no corruption? Yaramil Gerbelid. A Punic Buddhist. We actually have a Buddhist Punic. No corruption, good loyalty. 8 Marshal. This guy's a Sekeliot though. Perakid. Well, the trouble is it's 7 already, so 7 or 8 isn't a major difference. I'm sure he's got this. Fun's greater than accuracy. Sometimes, like I do concede that no simulation is perfect, right? Even Crusader Kings 2 loved the game, but Crusader Kings 2 is very much a historical accuracy only exists up until you unpause for the first time, then everything's out the window. But still, the simulation has to have some framework, right? Before you throw everything else out. Easily kicking their ass. Doesn't matter if they got they got the bigger army, and our commander has smaller command than they do. They have 1 fort here and 1 fort only. Oh, he's got to go all the way. Another fort? Hold on. Did I miscount? They got a 3rd fort! I thought they only had 2 in there. It's probably my sicky brain losing its short-term memory. How old is Buddhism actually? So old. So old that even in this game, there's a few starting stuff in there. Sun Game, Europa Universalis maybe, also by them. At times when some historical polity rises, suddenly the area is them. Yeah, that's a balance they have to do too. They gotta struggle with how do they have historical changes happen while also having the game not be completely scripted. Which is kind of fun, playing in like Crusader Kings 2. In Crusader Kings 2, I like to play with the Tianxia mod that opens a map from the Atlantic to the Pacific. So it goes as far east as China, Japan, the Philippines, Indonesia. So when I was playing a Korean game in that, and pretty much held not just the Korean peninsula, but a whole bunch of the barbarian lands around it, when the Mongol Empire rose up, they pretty much rose up within my frontier, within my own borders, as a sudden swarm appearing. And that was cool. I had to bring like all of my armies into some real low supply, high attrition areas, basically starting off as like functionally it was like a giant peasant uprising that was going to take over the whole world. So I don't mind when scripted stuff shows up now and again, since it sparks the event, but then how it finishes itself isn't scripted. It's based more on how the in-game world reacts to it, how you as a player react to it. Though it's also funny when they have to put like a ton of bonuses to make sure that the events go the way they want. Like the Mongols are pretty infamous. They're always getting all the cheats in the world to make sure that they have their conquests. I don't mind so much that they have it where it's really hard to make an alliance with them. They have the I'm conquering the world and you're next disadvantage to try to make an alliance with them. But they get some real cheaty stuff sometimes too, like they don't get attrition. Hundreds of thousands of armies that don't suffer any supply limit or anything. Scripted is meh, by all means have stuff happen, but simulate a bit, make it make sense based on the game you're in. Yeah, exactly. I feel like Crusader Kings 2 is a bit better at that than Crusader Kings 3 has been. I'm practically the biggest simp for Crusader Kings 2 at this point. If there's only one hater for Crusader Kings 3, then it's me. Actually, send this one back over here. And have these guys. It's only 2,000. 2,000 is not going to do anything. Send these guys over. More colonizable territory. They are straight up breeding like rabbits along the coast here. And speaking of which, how's our mercenaries doing? They marched into place already? Pataline. I appreciate that they gave me military access to march through here after I went to war with them to force them to give me military access. But they would be so much happier under our rule. Just like everybody else up and down the Indus. Now that we built a bunch of temples and theaters for everybody, they're so much happier. They're slowly starting to embrace the hedonic gods. We're not quite seeing any Sikelio peoples yet, but I'm sure we will. Macedonian types. That's why they weren't willing to give us access on their own. The fucking Macedonians! Dravida and Marian revolt will help out. Poor Maria is looking so pockmarked right now still. They're looking a bit better, since I gobbled up a fair bit of Maria revolt for them. But it's 46,000 mercenaries. They only have one fort. And this all counts in the same province. So I take that one fort, and that capital pillar, and all these fall automatically. Declare war. Take Pataline. And then just sit them down and wait. It's only a level 1 fort too, so it won't take them any time. Sacking of Limonum. Where are we at? Over here? Gentle looting. Gentle looting. I've already got the money. They're trying to run here, is what they're doing. Runs across borders. Who's this? I don't care about these guys any more than just being able to take them over. Send 1,600 gold to a total barbaric stranger. Nah. Two forts along the sea, one fort and one fort only. Set them up here. There's always a chance we could take their friends over. They've split up just to make it harder to chase them. He's going up here. Antenor Agathoclid rose to the throne. Gods are weeping over the passing of Fatal Xenos to besieger. Succumbed to a highly stressful environment at the age of 74. Mega Specilius, the Hellenistic Empire. Remember the board game? Axis and Allies? Someone tried to settle on you because it was such a good sim of World War II with real events scripted in. You're like, okay. Axis lose. First Italy, then Germany, Japan gets nuked. Good game. Took seconds. You know, on one hand, I know back in like the 2000s, 2010s, yet another World War II game was kind of an overdone meme by that point. But given the world today, maybe people could use a bit more shooting Nazis is good actually in their video gaming. Agadagas don't exist. Zenid. Any other Agathoclids? No other Agathoclids to get the job to? We are really running out of family. Zenid, Polemon, 70 years of age. He's got 20 corruption though. This guy's got... he's deceitful. Deceitful gives plus 0.05. But he's got all other modifiers dropping it. World War II happened already, don't need to sim with dice. Yeah, especially if they're saying it's like historically realistic, then yeah. We know what historically happened. They lost. It wants me to adopt more people into the family, but most of the people it's offering are rather mediocre. How's about? Let's take it over. I was gonna say, instead of taking this over, I could put some more troops out here to help chase guys down. There's mercenaries around, too. Give you a mecha chain gun Hitler to assassinate instead. That's like some peak Wolfenstein right there. I've only played as far as the episode 1 shareware. But he gets a bit mecha chain gun, doesn't he? Waited for him to lock. And now he can't escape. Let's see. Wolfenstein's before your time as a PC gamer. For the most part, for me, Wolfenstein was mostly in Mr. Calderon's computer classes. If you finished up your endless home row typing lessons with time left in the class, you get to play computer games. He had Wolfenstein, some Commander Keen on there, some kind of Civil War simulation I can never quite figure out. Eventually, we also had on the shareware CD at home. But I didn't get to enjoy too much of Wolfenstein 3D on it. Unfortunately, I was way too prone to motion sickness. And so, you know, having the textures in my face running around, that's a good way to get me rolling on the floor, queasing for half an hour. XCOM was pretty good though, especially classic DOS XCOM. That is always good times. I'd throw down for XCOM. Though I maintain that as far as the reboot series goes, the best thing to come from that was Chimera Squad. Plutonian. Pataline War is at -3 war score despite us conquering their capital, stuff around there. We own just about everything they have. Don't tell me that Dravidia... No. If they were feudatory of Dravida, or Dravida was a guarantor, then they'd be the war leader. Somehow they have very high war enthusiasm, despite 3/3 being conquered out already. Their armies scattered, and still they think they could take us. The heck is this guy going? He's got 18 loyalty, so he's taking his boat wherever he damn well wants. The guy's got the party boat because he's got too much corruption for a government job. If he wants to take his... Where's he going? Where's he taking it? He's taking it... He's taking it to the Atlantic. To the Mare Britannicum. If that's where he wants to take his party boat... Syndicate, I think I remember seeing in... like Abandonia and similar sites as a teenager browsing around for free games that might be fun, though it looked a bit too complex for my meager teenage brain. Where's he going? You gonna go here? You gonna go there? He's gonna go there. Oh, that's mercenaries I picked up. Galby's mercenaries. Galby's mercenaries. Hostile mercenaries. Galbus. Mine now. They thought they could hire out mercenaries to go against me. Me with my infinite pockets. Be the bad guys and cyberpunk the game. I feel like a cyberpunk style thing has to have some kind of moral ambiguity to it to really earn its stripes. More guys roaming around. Have the small stacks clear out. The petite occupations. Bigger stacks go for the armies, especially. They found 23,000 more troops. Coriid's mercenaries. Coriid's mercenaries, huh? Bribe them. Curses! Callously refused our offer of superior employment. They received a better offer. That's good though, that means they're wasting more money to maintain the mercenaries. Cannot be enticed more than once a year. You're the core, do espionage, asset acquisition, murder, get the bottom line working. Kinda sounds like Floor 13. In a way. Except that one's more shady government agency than a cyberpunk corporation, but also pretty fun, getting to play the villain once in a while. There was a Floor 13 sequel on Steam that I saw a while ago, and wishlisted, and then I looked at the reviews, and oh my goodness, everyone hated it. Apparently it was really, really dismal. $24,000. March on over. Expected. They're making obvious plays there. $31,000 against 23,000. Civilized Syracusae against barbaric Gauls, and they think we might maybe win. 4 to 12 is a big difference. Cisalpine Gaul and Transalpine Gaul armies. Do we have better in command? No corruption, 6 martial, Punic Druidic. Okay, you know what? We'll put you in. We'll just force your conversion. Dropping him down to 37 loyalty. And we don't have a silver tongue. He's too righteous to bribe, but we don't have a silver tongue to persuade him. Free hands will raise his monthly corruption by 0.2. Changes by 0.07 each month. Victorious. Cool. One after all. Senmora. Pretty good atmospheric music. Amusingly amoral mission briefings like Dungeon Keeper, also by Bullfrog. An impressive RTS gameplay for its time. I might have to give it a proper look, especially now that I'm older and less scared of complex games. Something tells me I might not be as allergic to complex games compared to when I was a teenager. Syndicate. 1993 video game. Politician not doing what we bribed him to do. Tell me about it. These governors of mine. Don't know if this is some moral stance or hostile corp interference. Can't simply liquidate him at this time. Sending your team in to discuss matters. Discuss matters with his good lady wife. That could be fun stuff. Imperator Rome is very quickly coming to the end of its timeline. Which means that the schedule is going to open up again to games that are not just maps and menus. I'm sure everyone's looking forward to that. So maybe... gotta see how the dance card is looking. They have so many stacks of just little tiny guys roaming around trying to carpet siege my stuff. But we have the advantage. $13,000 fully wiped out. Cool. Keep in mind though, gameplay is functional but not great. Whether I have played some truly abysmal stuff, some had abysmal gameplay but were still a joy to play. And then some were Just Cause 1 where, oh my goodness, I would rather have my eyes gouged out, and I need my eyes to play video games. So, I'm not too worried about functional but not great, but otherwise fun. Hey MP83! Want art. You're offering art now, MP. Oh, heading to sleep against your will too? I appreciate you dropping in, MP. Hello to you too, hello. Is that a new Nasu wave? Or is my sicky brain too melted to mush? And thinks it looks different somehow? I feel like maybe the wave was on that side. Old, very old? It's just a Sicky Brain then. Sicky Brain is making things look different today. Night night to you too, Wither. Thanks for dropping in. 9 stacks, equating to 23,000. Gotta hunt them down and gut them. Look at that computer brain. My guy is so far away that he can't see it. But as soon as my guy starts going after him, he's gonna run off. They think I can't see it. This war's done. Sue for peace, gimme. And all the way back here, the mouth of the Indus is now fully under our control. X! 46 to 68. We've beaten them though, it's full occupation. Once these flip over, they'll change their tune. There, see? Now they have no choice but to capitulate. Still no. 46 to 68. Desperation plus 10, balance, war goal on retreat. Demanding substantial lands, yeah we are. That's okay. They got more armies coming this way to try to siege it back. What is going on in Persia? They're fighting against Dragniana, rebelling against the Persian Empire, south to Rim Basin, to take Margiana, and Yudze again. You can go to sleep happier now that you have some money in your bank account again. MP, congratulations. You won't be waking up cranky. And you get to have lunch at the workplace. Well, I hope your work stuff's doing great, MP. I can't remember you being too enthusiastic when it first started out. But money in the bank and work lunches does sound pretty good. I see the notification, but I don't see any alert. There's supposed to be an alert. I moved all of my alerts onto Twitch's native system specifically so it wouldn't donk up. There's supposed to be, let's see, my alerts, edit alerts, gifted subscriptions. I think I see why. It's because Twitch has like 5 billion variations for gift subs. And what I have activated is for new subscriber gifts. I should have had one activated for old subscriber gifts too. So, supposed to be something like, where's test alert button? Something like that, right?
So you're telling me there's a chance?
I'll have to go through and tweak them all over again. I've been noticing more often that even the follow alerts haven't been popping up as reliably as they should. But MP, thank you for gifting a sub to Wither Voice. Finland and Norway joined as friends together once more. The really mad thing as far as a Twitch native alert system goes is that they give you maximum of 200 alerts that you can make in Twitch. But when it comes to sub alerts, they break it down into so many minute different categories of like gift subs for this tier, gift sub for that tier, new gift subs specifically. And so, excuse me, if you want to make an alert for gift subs or subs in general, that's taken up like 8 to 12 different slots depending on how thorough you want to be. So if you want like a whole lot of alerts, some randomization or whatever, then you're using up a lot of slots just like natively, naturally. Local solutions would be nice. I've seen some people have like really complex CCS stuff they make together. Realistic options these days seems to be native Twitch alerts if you want to go through Twitch, or stream elements. $35,000. You're only using Robocop Gasm with the Twitch alert system to keep your 2 animated emote slots. I gotta put my animated emote slots to use. My animated emote slots right now are mostly filler, because I don't really have anything to put in there. At some point, I'm just gonna have to, like, devote the money to get someone to make some stuff up. But it was kind of the same for me too. For the longest time, I was mostly using the Twitch alerts for the channel point emote redeem, or the channel point sound alerts. An easy way to do channel point sound stuff is basically all I wanted from them. And so that was all I needed. Sonati's mercenaries. Just throwing money at this problem till it disappears. Mercenary buyout successful. They keep trying, and all they're really doing is giving me more mercenaries to play with. Pick'em Hall very affordable, 5 USD per remote. 15 per animated remote. That's not affordable, that is practically stealing them from him. I would consider like $25 to be on the super cheap end. So 15 would be like under half of that. Got him. Alright. Let's see if I could even take as much land as I want here. It's low cost so far. But would I be able to take all this too? Because I want to go as far north as here. Yeah, a steal, exactly. Oh, why do you think I commissioned him so many times? The art style? I know he does have his particular style. Oh, they've sieged down that for me. $13. Still don't want to give it for me. 50 to 65. And they're sending some boats in after. Those boats don't count anyway. If they want to take those boats, they're free to. This guy is seriously going on a joyride all throughout the world. He's got zero loyalty, and so he won't listen to what I'll say, and he's following his own agenda. He's taking his party boats. At first, he was going to take it through the Straits of Gibraltar and sail up over here. Now he's taking his party boats down on a Red Sea cruise past the Strait of Hormuz to go hang out in Babylon. Time for your beauty sleep now, Wempy. Your 6 hours. You enjoy it? Thanks for dropping in. And it's about time for me to get my BRB too. I'm surprised that this war over here for 4 pieces of land is going as complex as it is. Where's the... Most of the opposition is coming from Dravita's army. So even just having 2,000 guys here, just to undo this, that, the other thing. Given that suing for peace and just asking for this, that, and this brings it to 54. Hopefully, I'll be able to take all that I want. But if not, we got plenty of time to do this in 2 wars' time. Year is 685. So we got 42 years left to go in the game. Plenty of time to fill in the gaps. But I'm going to take a BRB too. P.S. You don't hate me. I just arrive on your streams when you're not saying stuff like I hate. Yeah. It's just funny when the timing works out that way. But I've got to feed the cats. Think I'll make myself some more hot cocoa. And then we'll finish up these 2 wars here and see where our expansions are going to go next. So back in a bit. Alright, cats are fed. Got my refill of hot cocoa. Let's get back to trying to take all this over at one. I'm not sure if we will take it all at once. It depends on how well the war score plays in my favor. If they'll let... It's at 54 right now. 54 to gobble up all this. So... it shouldn't be any more expensive to get 1, 2, 3 extra provinces out of it. These guys chasing that group over. What are you doing? 15,000. That's all getting sieged out. Already going that way. Well, this war's almost done, basically. So this one is good. That one is on the back end. And way down over here, somehow, they refuse to give up Little Pataline, despite owning all 4 of their provinces. 14 to 13, come on. If we kick their army's ass one more time. They've gobbled up my boats. That's fine. I don't need those boats anymore. Kick their army's ass. 16. War score now. They still refuse. 53 to 63. Keeps rising up on both sides. And where are they going? Oratory advances. What other text do I even want now? Integrated culture happiness of 2. Global food modifier 2.5. I think I'm alright on this tree. Unintegrated culture happiness plus 15. Plus 15 unintegrated culture happiness. Four away. Well, 3 if I get this first. Found city modifier, divine sacrifice cost. But pop conversion speed, minus 90%. I kinda want them to all convert though. We've already got plenty of Hellenic folk around, but especially in our newly conquered areas. Okay, what else have we got then, if not that? Hey, chillin' chum, I see you peeking around the brick wall there. Reduced intervention restrictions. War score costs. Assassinate cost. Sekeliot Freeman. Oratory provincial investment cost. Espionage character interaction. Diplomatic reputation plus 1. Monthly corruption 0.01, 0.01. When activated, a bunch of people who are not me gain more finesse and more zeal. Political influence. You know, how about that? Let's get more political influence. And then try to build up diplomatic reputation. Just for the funsies. I don't, I just think you do. Anyway, hi. Chillin' chum, with my sicky brain right now, I might just believe that. You gotta be careful about gaslighting me this way. More mercenaries. Uxanditi's mercenaries. They keep paying money and I keep getting them for myself. Oh, I see. It's because of that. That they're all swapping over. $32,000. Okay. Where do they keep finding them all? Governor Upper Egypt is dead. Governor Upper Egypt. Somebody with no corruption. Is it an Agid? Iberic Punic? Hellenic? Okay. Cool tattoos on him too. Alright, meanwhile down here. 19 war score. Just give it to me. It's still a no. 56 to 60. We're just gonna keep kicking their ass. They don't have the kind of manpower to push us out of there. And it's just all mercenaries too. They're trying to run off. Probably going for one of the other capital sites. None shall hide, gain cruelty. Monthly tyranny goes up. We'll be gentle. We'll take after Dad. And now the only thing left to do is to take this over. And then war complete. Let's also erase these forts to make things cheaper. I think when it comes time to war against Thrace, I'll put a bunch of forts in the mountains here. Put some forts in the mountains to keep them at bay. We have a really long border here. But we could probably put a bunch of troops down here to start marching upwards, erase these, and shrink our border with them. Thrace is going to be a whole campaign of its own. I think that I will want to properly erase our last Hellenic competitor in the area. There's Egypt, but Egypt doesn't count. How's your boat situation? 18 boats. $20. 57 to 58. The longer I occupy their stuff, the faster it'll start seeping over to me. Trying to run away is floundering too much. Victorious once more. Question of competence. After weeks of nervous looks and smirks at court, the whispers circling the palace have finally reached the ears of Megas Basilius. Someone's been spreading rumors and spinning yarns of his unequal profligacy, unfitness for the throne. He's uncaring, but just, greedy, and good-natured. Lose 15 popularity. Gain popularity and investigate the source of the rumors. No one could freely insult the Megas Basilius. Persian Empire won the war, won the Olympic Games this time. They'll finally accept Pataline to us. Just filling in 1, 2, 3, 4. And that'll show the world that Dravida is not a good guarantor. Alright. Mauryan Revolt is still ongoing. I don't think they're ever going to actually successfully finish that up. These two mercs, Smerdid and Faktarid, I think I can get rid of them now. Faktarid, fire him. Smerdid, fire him. They've done their job. Now, as for these guys, Every single bit of this is occupied. Can I fill my appetites and claim them all for myself? $88. $99. I can't take everything. I have to let one thing go free. You heard me say Fire M and thought Fire Emblem. Sorry, Chillin' Chum. Sadly, I don't think there'll be much in the way of Fire Emblemming here. What if we don't take this bit? What if we reset this? Take... What if we say this area becomes a subject state? I only have tribal vassals, tributaries, as options. $103. $102. I want to take that. You see, right now it's 103 war score, right? But if I let some stuff go, it could increase beyond that. I could put a little tiny something in the middle. I think maybe it's an asking for things that don't belong to me. Or that I have, like... Because I have Casus on here, right? So that stuff is cheaper. So, if I get rid of the stuff I have Casus on, and I'm only claiming stuff that's not things I have Casus on, and the price goes up. I think that's why then. Because like that's super cheap. This stuff, I don't have claims all the way up there. $99. And I'll simply leave this tiny morsel for later. I could live with that. That is an okay compromise to me. Yeah, just casually taking all of Northwest France and Gaul. I was hoping that I could, but stuff gets expensive war score wise, so taking all this and leaving one little strip to take later, that is a good compromise to me. That is basically my goal manifest. Little tiny Alurica left. We don't have a truce with you, do we? Has a truce with us? But we don't have a truce with... No, we do have a truce with them. If we didn't have a truce with them, imagine how cheaty that'd be, right? Take over the host nation, the parent nation, let a little child nation free, and then go to war with it immediately after if your army's still up. $172 political influence. How much to take on? How much to deify one final ruler? We can deify one final ruler. Let's deify Dad, Philoxenos. Philoxenos, who had brought the empire all the way to India, and as far up to the Himalayas. Doesn't change the stats any because none of my rulers had any good stats anyway. You're not the first one to say to transfer the save to CK3. I think Toxicite brought it up the last time. And there is a converter for Imperator Rome to Crusader Kings 3. Where shall Papa have his shrine? Philoxenos. The two Philoxenoses will be next to each other. Do we have another metropolis that doesn't have a shrine? There's metropolis here that doesn't have one. We could put Papa in one of the cities that he conquered. Taxila has a Hindu holy site to Saraswati. We are at 32 stability. So I do need to rebuild some stability here. And there's two holy sites within our borders that we could desecrate for extra stability. See, the thing is, I don't know how the converter would work. I know that for the Crusader Kings 2, Europa Universalis 4 converter, it basically just pasted my empire as best that it could onto the EU4 map. But that was basically the first release version of the CK2 EU4 converter on the earliest release version of EU4. So all it really did was plant a big Roman Empire on the map, but not really do all that much else. And so it was endless revolt because, of course, all the peasants around the world weren't all homogenized, and EU4 does not like that. So that didn't last long. So I'd be at least curious to see what the system actually does in bringing this map on over to Crusader Kings. Oh yeah, Chillin' Chum. Those earliest CK2 to EU4 conversions, if you weren't building tall and moderately, then it was basically handing you an insta-failure on a platter. Imagine being someone who really loves Crusader Kings, and you buy this new game because they're offering a converter for free, and you could bring your game to the next game. You're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna learn this new game. And so you transfer your save over, you load it up, thinking, alright, I got my big European empire. We're gonna have an easy time learning the new game. And the only thing that happens is you get stuck in eternal revolts with basically, at a minimum, half of your domain constantly in active rebellion. And so I gave up on Rome, and then went to Southeast Asia to try to find some tiny little island to learn the game on and didn't. Where's the rest of my mercs? Fire 'em. Fire 'em. Fireblum. Rome's got some mercenaries going. Treverian druidic folk, they gotta work with what they got. Belgia culture group. I don't mind sweating out the sickness, but it's getting a little bit warm for me, which is good. Okay. We'll hire these guys to get us some extra stability. Desecrate the holy site. Gain 2 aggressive expansion. Gain 10 stability. Pop worked so hard to build all the way up towards Taxila that... Oh. Hindu not present in the Pantheon. We need this to be properly Hellenized first, before we could put a holy site here. Well, that's gonna be the holy site to Dad then. We're gonna give him one right here. Minus 0.61, how come? Aggressive expansion. Gives minus 8.26 popularity, or population happiness. So, who's gonna be next? Here is 686. If he wanted to take the war to Makkah, now would be the time to do it. The truce with their guarantor has expired. I would simply need to bring all of my guys back over. Naval range wise, I could try to bring my biggest hitters of Graeca Magna and Italia on over. There would just be some severe attrition between here and there. One little red port there. Well, do they not like me there? Okay, think what we'll do then. We'll do Makkah next. Try to take as much as we can. Hadramut, are you an option? We don't have any Casus Belli on you. Hadramut will probably be easy. How many forts do they have? They've only got 1 fort. They have 1 fort and 1 fort only. But that would give us more border with Egypt. I think I do want to do another... This time it's not giving me any stability loss to do an Imperial challenge against Egypt. We have no other claims on them. Before, when I would try to do Imperial challenge on people, it would give me a stability loss if I didn't have a pre-existing Casus Belli. So we could go against Egypt. South Nubia isn't giving them any extra access. They're at war with Egypt. So what we could do is post troops over here, work our way down, send some small troops here, work our way down, and that'll tighten up the front over there while troops come down this way. Only concern would be they got 18 boats, so they could shimmy 9,000 guys around if they needed to. Naval range, Atlantic coast, up and down is perfectly ours. So, options. Do we go for Egypt round 3? Or Mecca? Egypt might actually be better. That'll give us more ports. So many more ports, we'll work our way down to them. They got one fort there. One fort in Aksum. But I don't really care about inland right now, right? I mostly care about getting more of these Red Sea ports. So if we just go down here, down there, and carpet siege all the way down to taking control of Yemen and taking these 2 ports, then we can boat our guys on over to Mecca and have an easy win. So first I would need to move my guys into position. $15,000 is plenty to walk down the desert. Okay, I like this plan, just gotta get everyone over. The traitorous snake who attempted to demean the name of Antenor I has been identified as none other than Tabnit Dinocratide, who quickly confessed to his crimes. The governor of Cyrenaica with 50 loyalty. Forget him, his reputation is ruined, and his loyalty. Gain 5 corruption to gain his loyalty and money. Forget the guy. Do we really care all that much? While we're here. We've already got 1, 1, 1. Barracks. Freeman happiness, desired ratio, manpower. Let's give him a provincial legation instead. Pop assimilation speed better. Which is probably going to make them all very unhappy. Changes by 0.08 each month. There, that's 0.05. Unhappy slaves. What would improve slave happiness? Slave estates? It's just slave output. Oh well. And then save the rest of my money. Debtor in prison who? Diomedes Didi. 7455, 3754. Governor Armorica. We forgot to put one in. Good loyalty, no corruption. No charisma. But since when did governors ever need charisma, eh, Newsom? Heraclid family is also lacking a job. Heraclid... where? 7 and 2. Speaking of which, where's that one boat? Is he still out over in the Indian Ocean? 7. He wanted to party with everybody else here. How's he at 0 loyalty? All he does is sit on the boat his entire life. Tyranny, great power, power base and country, pretender, power base of supporters, scorned family. Scorned family, but I lack any other Agathocles to give jobs to. We're not a very big family. See, there isn't any more of us. Maybe I could adopt somebody else. This guy has 10 zeal. Pretty good marshal. He's 48 years old. Does not have trait proud. I can't adopt him. But I want to. I'm never gonna get a ruler with 10 zeal. Forgot to mute that. There. Filter by gender. Okay. Gender, adult, not great family. Let's sort by age. 0065 5606 8568 is a pretty good spread. Macedonian, Hellenistic, 14343. Gandhari Hindu, General Avata's Mercenaries. 5572. 50. How about you, Argieios? Does not have foreign citizen. Selfish, unnoticeable, but intelligent. We could grant some citizenship status. Does not have trait selfish, man. There's no winning there. So who even is my heir right now? Because I have 2 daughters and that's it. My primary heir is Euenetos, 4345. How perfectly mediocre. Plain speaking, more diplomatic reputation, tactician, merciful, and zealous. Unintegrated culture group happiness -6. How are we looking? Sekelios, only 24% happy. High aggressive expansion, dropping things. Macedonians we haven't erased yet. Because every new place we conquer has more fucking Macedonians. Punics haven't integrated out. We haven't reduced their integration status either. Oh, look at that. Romans are officially extinct in the peninsula. Etruscans are finally out. Just a little bit of holdout in the mountain. Macedonians. Some Sikeliotes. We got some Sikeliotes squeezing in among the Macedonians. Macedonian. Damn it, Alexander, making things harder for me. One free innovation. Omen power plus 1%. Which it's still only 1.31 after militant Epicureanism. So we're going towards where now? We're trying to build towards reputation, tyranny. I'm trying to build all these diplomatic reputation modifiers just for the lulz right now. So open negotiation, more diplomatic reputation. Diplomatic reputation of 10. So what missions do we have? We didn't ever actually finish the mission Growth of Italia. We forgot to press the finish mission button. Finished. Matter of Asia is to conquer more of Asia and get provincial loyalty higher than I want. Hospitable Sea. Euxine hegemony. Pontos Euxinos. I'm assuming that's up here then. Stabilize and grow Mesopotamia. That's basically just their version of the stabilize and grow Italia that we did earlier. Which isn't too bad. They give some decent bonuses. Death to tyrants. Restore popular government to Syracuse. We could end the game going from god emperors to republic ideals once more. Or we won't. Okay, let's stabilize, grow Mesopotamia. So to finish mission, we'll have to complete growth of Seleucia Megale. And these two are mutually exclusive. These two mutually exclusive. And so we have to do this one of these, or one of these. So, Mines of Grimea. Grimea has mines in all possible settlements. Mine, 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 mine. I really gotta get those stones. Fruits of Babylonia, farming settlements, and all settlements producing food. Fort level 1 in Seleucia Megale. I also want to hold on to my money, so let's hold off on that mission for now. Barbarians in Garama. With the diplomatic reputation we have now, no to settling? The Cyrenaica governor isn't very happy with me. Turn your guys around. It's 1,000 against 3,000. Gotta make sure we get our Magna Greca guys in first. And then everybody else can squeeze in after. $128,000 on the boat. $66,000 in position. Where's my... Well, those mercenaries I put there before. 15,000? We'll send you into the desert. Felicia could not be colonized. Alright. Try to squeeze it out before Rome gets there. Now, back to these missions. Since we don't have any revolts coming in yet. Mines being built. You want me to waste a building slot on a fort. And then all the food producing to have farming settlements in this arc. Ooh. More civic advances. They've only got 500 barbarians there. And now they're gone. Did they just settle in on themselves? Out of themselves for population? Because they just vanished. Pinching in, there's only a few left here. Scandal, who is it? Our Philosophos? Flog him. "600 days with a single farming settlement." Okay, who are candidates for adoption this time? Ailing, at 38 years old, Mood, Chaste, Coastal Raider, and Arbitrary. Stability change minus 0.05, gross. Dysentery, Corrupt, Lapse, and Arbitrary. Neither is fit to speak our name. Let's see, which was this? Levy of Asia. There's no need to have it up anymore, so let's drop the ones we don't need because it's peacetime anyway. And then who else is sitting around doing nothing? Cisalpine Gaul. Baetica. There. They just keep dropping more and more money into my lap. Man, who'd have guessed that crossing the Mediterranean alone takes as long as traversing the Pacific? It's actually next year. It's next year before we even get there. Okay, let's build up some forts along the border for when it's time to go against Thrace. Slave estate? Nah. Give us a fort. We're gonna be really obnoxious about it too. And put forts in every place possible. Just the one there should be alright, because I want to come out this way. And they might be forced to with the forts here. But they won't be able to go through here without taking that out first. So that should be okay. Maybe even put one over here to limit their movement even further. Level 2 fort. Man, they got such a wide border with us. I don't want to build forts everywhere. I think that's okay for now. We'll mostly cover this side, just to keep them from zooming over when we do go to war with Thrace. They got some concentrations of forts here, played along the coast. The major trouble is they're wide. If I simply put a bunch of soldiers down around here to start gobbling things up and pushing them out, and put some resistance here and here, I think we'll be alright. It'll just be the classic turn a wide border into a more narrow border, only with a foreign power that actually has the ability to go toe-to-toe with me. So, I'm considering them as final boss just for the width of their border, more so than Persian Empire or Mario were. Who did I lose? Silk! Nobody's giving us silk. We have silk surplus someplace. More noble outputs. Down the Nile. Down the Canal to the Pharaoh. And another trade route lost. Still got our silk. Iron. Gotta supplement my iron somewhere. Can't not have my heavy infantry both. Governor Rheita died. Chaldean Elamite, Hellenic Macedonian. The guy who was too proud. Was it proud or selfish? Too selfish to accept being adopted into the royal family. You'd think if he's so selfish, becoming the royal family is what he would want the most. They're at war with South Nubia, so hopefully most of their armies are focused here. Especially since South Nubia is kicking their ass, it looks like, all the way down to Aksum. Philosophos multiply by zeal for monthly legitimacy. 8 zeal, 25 years old, so his statesmanship should hopefully get better with time. Searcher. Could people stop dying on me? And who's our next two candidates? Government Mauritania, ailing at 39, Chas, Kosovo, yada yada yada. Same guys as before? I denied them once already. I'm gonna keep denying them. Battle-hardened soldiers serving under Poseidonios, Agathoclid, have performed mighty acts of valor. Poseidonios, in an act of benevolence, has requested permission to institute a particular form of service reward unique to his army. Poseidonios would take great offense at being denied this honor. Let's see. Discipline up. Cohort loyalty gain chance. That mostly really matters for legions, wouldn't it? He's merely a governor? He could be replaced easily. And speaking of, stability's not a 28. Desecrate the holy site. Sakala. Destroy the holy site to Lakshmi. Any more delicious holy sites to plunder? That is outside our realm. Samba. And then a whole bunch more up and down the Nile if I want some really quick stability gains. There's some more in new territories too. Druidic holy site for Lugos, Druidic holy site Gobanos. Sneezed so hard it broke through the paper. I guess big sneezes are simply going to become a family trait. Dad used to excessively exaggerate his sneezes. He thought it was a manly thing, that if you simply scream at the top of your lungs when you sneeze, it's more masculine. And so you'll just be minding your own business, doing whatever, and out of nowhere you hear, "Wah!" Cause like, no kidding. It wasn't that his sneezes were loud, it's that he wanted to scream when he sneezed. I don't get it either. Mine, I don't scream when I sneeze, but my sneezes are still explosive. Mine are the sneezes he wish he had. Friend request, get out of here. Alright. We've got all our guys in position. Egypt. It's not you. It's us. We want more Red Sea ports. Declare war. That's a cool flag, by the way. The South Nubia flag they have there, with the bird and the sun behind it. is completely different, I'm sure. But go away, Redbubble. Google, could you give me stuff that aren't trying to sell me shit? Minus Redbubble. But the iconography there kind of reminds me, save images. It kinda reminds me of the Palau Moneybird. I'm not saying it's the same bird, it just reminds me of the kind of iconography we have. I think it's cute. Okay, Egypt. Back to where we were, declare war. Imperial challenge, no stability lost despite the lack of proper casus belli. Now that we're the Hellenistic Empire spreading from the Atlantic to the Indus, who's gonna stop us? Who's gonna say we can't do this? Now let's see, any surplus we don't have. Dates for commerce income. Western Delta dates. Give me that commerce income plus 5%. Alright. The 15 stack here. We'll start conquering more in the desert. I guess we're going to be owners of Arabia and Arabia Felix after all. And then one big whole stack here. If anything, this is an excessive amount to stack. There's gotta be a better way to select my armies. They're all tangled up in there with overlapping boxes to press. What did I just say? What did I just say about if you guys could quit dying on me at the same time? Iberic, Druidic, Buddhist, Zoroastrians, a Dinocratide that is actually Canaanite. He's got 70 loyalty. So I could ask you to convoit, right? Force conversion. This is 30 loyalty. $39 is still okay. Lack of governor, Arabia. Now that we have one foot stepped in there. Agads don't count. Aramaic, Hellenic. He's good on his corruption and his loyalty. Punt. Alright, we'll get a governor of the Punt too. Who wants to be governor of Punt? Assyrian Druidic, Bohydric Canaanite, But Hydric is at least close. I think I'll go ahead and simply set these guys to Carpet Siege. There's a lot to get through there. That wreath around the pillar, is that where your capital is now, Egypt? After a point here, South Nubia is already conquered. Are you on the offense or the defense, South Nubia? South Nubian Egyptian War to take Alana. Egypt is getting their ass handed to them. By all means, South Nubia, we gave you the liberation as a demand in our war goal in our war once before. Now go do us proud. It's a shame they hate us though. Autocratic monarchy. Maybe we'd be able to take them over and make them a client state. Siege their stuff and make them merely a vassal of ours. If the Agate family was serious about dying off, could they do it faster? Arabia Maritime. You're not giving any access to anyone? Good. They're not giving any access to anyone. So, this bit of Egypt here could be completely undefended. Very possible. Occupation here. Narrow corridor here. If we take the coast, we could pinch them off completely. If we take the coast, we could pinch them off completely. There's one fort. And that could be the only fort. The game is just killing off everyone that it can right now. Mission complete, mines of, slave output up, expanding the workforce, produces or imports wood or olives, produces or imports grain, fish, livestock, vegetables, and has to be a city. Okay, who do you want to be a city? Guba. Guba has to be a city. $100 and only 27.5 influence. What else are we waiting on for the missions? For farming settlements, 126 more days. Fort level 1. They're working on it. Let's just mark all these guys for carpet sieging. Unfortunately, because they're all close to each other, they'll very likely all just group up and coalesce, giggling, smoking together, sharing gossip instead of spreading out. If you set the AI to carpet siege, they'll often forget the whole carpet part of the carpet siege, just more like a rug siege. Outside of navigation range. Just barely. Let's take a port. Quickly now, even my boats are suffering attrition here. Give me a safe port. A few days of just remanaging the administratives here.